The story opens on a smoke-filled battlefield. Our boy, Yun Youngwoo, stands amidst the ruins in deep thought after a brutal baptism of fire, wielding the forbidden god's hand power. However, this power is now sealed away. Seeking the ordinary life he's always craved, our guy decides to head to Seoul to start a school life he's never truly experienced. Soon, the Grand Chongchun International School comes into view. Here, our boy crosses paths with Xena, who is also scouting the campus early, and the gears of fate begin to turn. Faced with Xena's questioning gaze, our boy remains perfectly composed. He reveals he's also a transfer student starting tomorrow, easing the tension with their shared secret. Since they're future classmates, our boy casually invites Xena to look around with him. Despite her confusion at his confidence, she finds herself following his lead anyway. Inside the building, the luxury facilities and top-tier training machines leave Xena amazed. However, our boy doesn't seem satisfied yet, searching for a more critical area. Just as Xena expects a secret location, our boy points dead seriously toward the women's locker room. His utter confidence leaves her completely stunned and speechless. Our boy is leading Xena through the restricted area, showing off his hacking skills as he tries to break into what he calls the heart of the school. With a few taps on his phone, the door actually swings open. Youngwoo looks incredibly proud of himself, while Xena stands there completely stunned by his audacity. Before he can even enjoy the moment, the security alarm blares through the hallway. Realizing he's tripped the system, our boy's expression shifts to pure panic as he tells Xena to run. Unfortunately, they don't get very far before the security guard catches them red-handed. Confronted by the guard, the duo stands there in awkward silence, unsure how to explain themselves. The duo is hauled off to the office, but luckily, since they haven't officially started school yet, the principal decides to let them off with a stern warning instead of a punishment. When the first official school day begins, Xena hopes for a peaceful start, only to turn a corner and find our boy grinning at her as a fellow transfer student. Once they step into the classroom under the curious gaze of their peers, Youngwoo remains unfazed. As the teacher invites him to pick a seat, our boy starts scanning the room for the perfect spot. Ignoring the whispers and warning glances from the other students, our boy heads straight for the forbidden seat right next to the school's elite student, Aiden. Our boy decides to pick a prime spot for class, right next to the elite martial arts student, Aiden. The surrounding students are absolutely floored, whispering about how he just waltzed straight into the school's forbidden zone. The tension is real because in this school, your seat represents your rank. Since Aiden is a specialized martial arts student, sitting next to him isn't just a choice to everyone else, it's a direct challenge to the hierarchy. During a break, Sane rushes over to give our guy a much-needed reality check. She explains that the most important lesson here isn't in a textbook, it's learning who the most dangerous players are before you get yourself killed. Turns out, these martial arts students guard their territory fiercely. Any intrusion is seen as a threat to their rank. But our boy is more concerned about why Aiden isn't wearing a proper uniform, completely missing the point. Trouble finds him fast as a group of upperclassmen corners our boy. Facing their threats, he genuinely tries to talk his way out of it, claiming he just wants a peaceful life surrounded by pretty girls, not a fight. The bullies aren't buying it, and their leader swings a heavy fist at him. Even though our boy is still technically begging for mercy, his eyes shift. These guys have no idea who they're dealing with. Time seems to freeze as the punch closes in. Despite our guy shouting that it's all a misunderstanding, his body moves on its own, effortlessly dodging the blow. The sheer contrast leaves the onlookers stunned. Chaos erupts as the bullies fail to land even a single scratch. Instead, they're left stumbling over their own momentum. It seems that even if our boy wants to lay low, his god-tier instincts won't let him stay ordinary for long. As the seniors close in, our boy's body takes over. Even while he's technically pleading for mercy, his battle instincts kick in, dodging every blow with ease and launching counterattacks that leave the bullies face down. The onlookers are absolutely floored, and Xena can hardly believe her eyes. What seemed like a helpless transfer student just displayed a level of martial arts mastery that no one saw coming. Meanwhile, the elite student Aiden is pushing his limits. With one final, devastating strike, he shatters his training equipment and sets a brand new record, radiating an aura of pure, destructive power. While Aiden catches his breath, high-ranking clan members drop by with news about the new transfer student. They're clearly testing him, but Aiden's sharp gaze suggests he isn't impressed by the rumors. Learning that even Tyrell was defeated by our boy only irritates Aiden further. To him, it wasn't a display of strength from the new kid, but rather a pathetic failure by a weak predecessor. The aftermath of Tyrell's crushing defeat still haunts the school's hierarchy. The clan has officially set its sights on our boy, and a secret plan to test him is already being set in motion. Back at school, malicious rumors about our boy are spreading fast. Seeing how much stress this is causing his friend Shane, he realizes that his dream of a quiet life might be slipping away. The school is buzzing with rumors after the recent chaos. While her classmates worry about revenge, Xena remains completely unfazed, even welcoming anyone brave enough to challenge her. As rumors swirl about Xena's true motives and clan sponsorships, our boy realizes things are getting out of hand. He decides to step in and settle the tension before it's too late. Hoping for a peaceful life, our boy approaches the bullies with a gift basket to apologize on Xena's behalf. However, Leonardo and his handsome trio are more focused on their theatrical introductions. Our boy offers to let them hit him to settle the score, and even closes his eyes. But the moment they swing, his lethal instincts kick in, sending the bullies flying before they can land a punch. While our boy awkwardly claims he didn't mean to fight back, his overwhelming aura tells a different story. The bullies are left utterly shell-shocked, realizing they've just provoked a monster. The Chong-Chung Guardians arrive to investigate the noise. Terrified and broken, Leonardo desperately tries to play it cool, insisting that the brutal beatdown was just a friendly chat among students. Under the guards' intense questioning, the bullies stick to their frantic lies to save face. The trouble is temporarily suppressed, but our boy's dream of a normal life seems further away than ever. Just as tensions peak, the Chong-Chung Guardians arrive. Realizing he's outmatched, Leonardo quickly puts on a fake smile, claiming it was just a friendly chat before scurrying away with his crew. Facing the guards' warning about unnecessary violence, our boy remains perfectly calm, even flashing his signature polite smile. He's playing along for now, but his eyes suggest a much deeper game. Meanwhile, Xena sits alone on a bench, clutching a locket with her brother's photo. Memories of his words flood back. The path of martial arts is hard, but true strength is meant to set the world right. As Xena wipes away her tears, a shadow falls over her. An intruder has found her, recognizing her as the famous transfer student and breaking her moment of peace with a taunting tone. Elsewhere, our guy is having a private conversation on his phone. His expression shifts to something cold and professional as he reports that the target still hasn't realized he's closing in strategically. The scene shifts as Xena is led to a deserted indoor hall. Looking at the heavy security and expectant gazes, it's obvious that these martial arts elites aren't about to let her off easy. The top idol Tyrell steps out, arrogantly lecturing about the steel wall between martial artists and average students. He issues a cold ultimatum. If Xena wants forgiveness, she must fight his chosen lackeys. While Xena faces her crisis, our boy wraps up his secret call. He's determined to keep the truth hidden from her, but the shifting shadows of the academy are drawing them both into a violent storm. The atmosphere in the hallway is heavy. Our boy stands there with a cold gaze, having overheard every word of the secret conversation happening just around the corner. Xena is determined to prove her worth, but before she can finish, a lethal whip tears through the air with a deafening crack, shattering the ground beneath her feet. Facing these dangerous twin sisters, our boy remains surprisingly calm. He even challenges Xena, telling her that if she wants to prove herself, she'll have to get through them first. Faced with such a blatant provocation, Xena's eyes sharpen. Realizing there's no way out, she braces herself to take on this brutal and overwhelming fight. Elsewhere, the blonde guy is spiraling in panic, demanding answers. That mysterious phone call has completely shattered his composure, leaving him lost in a fog of conspiracy. Under intense pressure, our boy finally reveals the truth. He's only at this school because of a secret request from Xena's grandfather to act as her guardian. The battle intensifies as Sonia and Elena showcase their terrifying synchronization. Their relentless assault floods towards Xena like a tidal wave, leaving her no room to breathe. The sheer pressure of their coordination is exhausting. It's as if one soul is controlling two bodies. No matter how Xena strikes back, she can't seem to land a meaningful blow. As the fight hits a stalemate, our boy watches the reflections in their eyes, already formulating a plan. He just needs to find that one flaw in their rhythm to corner them for good. The scene is chaotic as Xena lashes out in a fury. But then, our boy appears with a mysterious locket in hand. With a piercing gaze, he drops the ultimate question. Tell me, what is your connection to Han Xinwu? Elsewhere, tensions are rising among the other students. While some are getting roughed up, a confident brown-haired student claims he's about to lead them into a new world they'd never seen before. The conversation shifts back to Han Xinwu, but this time it's all insults. Hearing her brother called a fallen legacy and tainted, Xena finally snaps. With tears of rage, she screams that she won't forgive anyone who badmouths him. Seeing Xena break down, our boy is moved but has to face the ugly truth. In the world's eyes, the former action idol died a shameful death, a drug overdose, in a hotel that permanently stained his legendary reputation. Xena is trapped in a painful vision, surrounded by judgmental shadows. She knows the rumors better than anyone, visualizing the drugs and needles that ruined her brother's name, feeling the crushing weight of public hatred. Even in despair, Xena clings to what her brother taught her. Looking up with renewed resolve, she declares him the greatest martial artist of his time. She is the living proof of his true path, a bond that lies can never break. Unfortunately, the villains have no patience for touching family stories. With a cold sneer, the antagonist orders the hit, finish her. In an instant, a lethal whip strikes out, plunging Xena right back into a life-or-death crisis. The battle turns brutal as Xena is overwhelmed by a series of high-speed impacts. Tears stream down her face, while heavy strikes shatter the ground, leaving her caught in a vortex of debris and pain. Despite her body contorting in agony, Xena screams her defiance, swearing to reveal the truth. Her tear-filled eyes burn with a resolve to show the world the legacy of her brother, Han Xinwu. Just then, our boy Youngwoo steps in with a cold smirk. A single, powerful strike from him sends shockwaves through the air, his overwhelming presence instantly shifting the gravity of the entire battlefield. Looking down at the fallen and sobbing Xena, Youngwoo approaches with an icy gaze. Surrounded by the wreckage of the fight, he calls out her name, his voice carrying a chilling sense of authority. Shane arrives on the scene, his face pale with a mix of fury and shock at Xena's condition. Meanwhile, our boy simply tilts his head with an enigmatic smile, acting as if this chaos is nothing more than a warm-up. Faced with hostile opponents wielding whips, Youngwoo doesn't back down. Instead, he assumes a dominant stance, his sharp gaze locking onto his injured allies, while exerting immense pressure on everyone present. Youngwoo tells Shane to look after Xena, signaling that he's taking over. As his smirk widens, his wild instincts begin to stir, ready to show these arrogant foes the true meaning of despair. Xena struggles to rise through her tears, finding even breathing a challenge. Meanwhile, Youngwoo readies himself. Beneath his casual exterior, a fierce counterattack against the school's hierarchy is about to begin. The chaotic impact leaves the enemy reeling. Facing the provocation, our boy remains incredibly cool, sporting a confident smirk that signals he's in complete control of the fight. Looking down at his struggling opponent, our boy offers a casual taunt. He admits the guy has some talent, but it's clearly not enough to bridge the massive gap between them. Before his foe can even react, our boy lands a crushing blow that sends him flying. The onlookers are stunned, barely recognizing the wild, instinctive warrior he's become. As the fight hits its peak, our boy masterfully controls the space at high speed. He's seen through every trick, making every strike feel like a perfectly choreographed display of power. Delivering a massive strike, our boy reflects on the vast difference in combat experience. This isn't just brute force. He's proving to everyone exactly who the real apex predator is. With one final roar, our boy ends the struggle. He claims it's not about being strong, but his overwhelming presence leaves the entire room in a state of absolute shock. While everyone is still reeling, the higher-ups are already feeling the heat. By effortlessly crushing a rising star, our boy has thrown a massive wrench into the clan's future plans. Watching from the shadows, the mysterious man notes the chaos our boy has caused. A major problem has been dealt with, but an even bigger storm is clearly brewing on the horizon. Our boy is summoned to an office where his secret identity as an elite bodyguard is exposed. Despite his desire for a quiet life, defeating Tyrell has officially put a target on his back. The executive warns our guy that a storm is brewing in the city. Meanwhile, Xena is sulking in the cafeteria after her loss, but Shane manages to cheer her up, reigniting her determination. Xena suddenly realizes that our boy has been hiding his true strength all along. Looking back at his wild, overwhelming presence in battle, he seems like a completely different person from his usual self. To settle things, our boy drops his casual act. He tells Shane to get Xena to safety, while he stays behind to deliver a warning, showing a side so serious it even shocks his friends. Just as everyone is processing our guy's intense aura, he suddenly reappears with a donut. Seeing him so focused on snacks again, Xena and Shane are stunned by the sheer contrast in his personality. Before our boy can even finish his snack, wild rumors about him spread across the school. Realizing his dream of a normal life is ruined, he desperately demands answers as things begin to spiral out of control. Even amidst the rumors, our boy shows a surprising charm that leaves others confused. But with trouble closing in, he can only scream in frustration as his chaotic school life truly begins. While the group is hanging out, a live stream called SDA suddenly grabs everyone's attention. Our boy is completely lost, having no idea he's about to become the center of a massive online storm. The streamer known as Heaven's Pig drops a bombshell. The elite Tyrell has been taken down by a mysterious rookie. The news sends shockwaves through the room, leaving everyone absolutely stunned. As the internet speculates on how the Lotus clan will respond, the scene shifts to a fleet of black cars. Bearing the Lotus emblem, they race down the highway, signaling that the real trouble is just beginning. It's not just a convoy. Even military helicopters are mobilizing toward the school. The roar of engines fills the air as the peaceful campus atmosphere is shattered by this overwhelming show of force. Watching the replays of his own fight on screen, our boy might not realize just how much trouble he's stirred up. With the chat going wild, the looming pressure of the clan's arrival is palpable. As the helicopter touches down, all eyes are glued to the opening cabin door. The moment a sleek black boot steps out onto the pavement, the surrounding air seems to freeze in anticipation. Stepping out is General Manager Gene Cheyenne, the man who controls every action idol in the Lotus clan. His arrival, looking both stylish and menacing, means things are about to spiral out of control. Right behind him is the Storm Flower, Imoharen. With two major power players arriving at once, it's clear the Lotus clan is ready to turn the school upside down just to get to our boy. As the legendary action idol Imoharen arrives, the entire school erupts in a fan frenzy. But beneath the cheers, a dangerous hunt for our boy Youngwoo has quietly begun. Men in suits are prowling the campus, asking for Youngwoo by name. Sensing the immediate threat, Xena grabs our boy before the pursuers spot him and forces him into a hasty retreat. Meanwhile, mysterious figures on the rooftop watch the chaos unfold below. To them, this pursuit is just a lion hunting a rabbit, and they won't intervene unless things cross the line. The building echoes with frantic footsteps as the pursuers swarm the hallways. To shake them off, Xena leads our boy through a desperate dash, ignoring the chaos as they scramble for cover. The voices of the pursuers grow louder. Before our boy can utter a word, Xena forcefully silences him. Though startled and struggling, he has no choice but to hold his breath and stay hidden. To ensure full cooperation, Xena corners our boy with an intense, commanding presence. She lays down the law. From now on, he must follow her orders without question. Understood? Xena quickly forms a plan, ordering Shane to hide our boy while she acts as bait. Since he saved her last time, she's determined to return the favor, no matter the cost. Watching Xena go, Shane wonders who is actually protecting whom. In this school full of gifted fighters, living a normal life is clearly much harder than winning a brawl. While everyone is worried about Xena, she finds herself cornered in a hallway by a group of mysterious men in suits. They've blocked her path, demanding she give up and come with them without a fight. However, just as the tension peaks, Imoharen remains surprisingly calm. Unfazed, she mocks their lack of skill before unleashing her sliding fog technique, moving like a bolt of silver lightning through the enemy lines. The men in suits can't keep up with her speed and are left completely disoriented. After landing gracefully, Imoharen taunts them as slowpoke old men before effortlessly slipping away from the ambush. Meanwhile, the forces in the shadows have no intention of stopping, using surveillance and tracking to hunt down Xena's location. In their eyes, this cat-and-mouse game has only just begun. Back at school, our boy Youngwoo causes a massive scene just by showing up. Students are swarming him for photos and videos. But this is bad news. Every upload exposes his location directly to his enemies. Crisis strikes. Imoharen appears behind Shane without warning, delivering a sharp blow to a vital spot. As Shane looks on in terror, she gives a chilling smirk, admitting she's been wanting to see them for a long time. Watching from a distance, Xena screams in horror for Shane to run. But against an opponent of Imoharen's caliber, Shane is completely powerless, and the situation spirals out of control instantly. At that moment, Imoharen reveals her true motive. It turns out Tyrell, the top idol defeated by our boy, was actually her fiancé. This isn't just a mission anymore, it's cold-blooded revenge. The scene opens with Lotus clan members swarming the hallways. They've clearly lost their target, frantically searching and shouting as they realize the girl has vanished right under their noses. Meanwhile, Xena Han has managed to evade the Lotus clan, but she's now hopelessly lost in the winding corridors, wondering how on earth she's going to find her way back out. At the same time, our boy is being tested by Moharin. Despite her sudden and aggressive moves, his instincts are sharp, drawing a surprised wow from the veteran idol herself. The fight intensifies instantly. Despite the overwhelming pressure, our boy stays remarkably calm. However, a massive impact sends him flying, and his worried companion can't help but scream his name. Our boy doesn't back down, launching a fierce counterattack. Moharin realizes his real danger isn't just his fists, but the incredible footwork that allows him to navigate through lethal attacks. Moharin closes the gap and grabs our boy's collar, their faces inches apart. She remarks that his victory over Tyrell was no fluke, while students nearby record the entire showdown on their phones. Our boy flatly rejects her offer, but Moharin just smiles coldly. She reveals her true trump card. She has a hostage, and suddenly, the stakes of this confrontation have never been higher. Chaos erupts as screams fill the air. Seeing his companion in danger, our boy completely loses it. With a surge of raw fury and a deafening roar, he unleashes a terrifying killing intent. Faced with an ambush, our boy scoffs, calling them too slow. Moving like lightning, his heavy strikes create massive shockwaves, sending his arrogant opponents flying like ragdolls. It's a complete one-sided massacre, with impacts so violent the walls begin to crumble. Amidst the debris, our boy takes a breath to calm down, while the terrified onlookers scatter in panic. However, this chaos is being watched. Through the SOE system, our boy's every move is broadcast on a giant theater screen. Below, the elites watch his performance with intrigued, knowing smiles. Our boy doesn't stop, brutally slamming an opponent's head into a brick wall. Inside the theater, a mysterious man removes his sunglasses, declaring the opening act over as the real plan begins. A new chapter begins with the appearance of a mysterious girl. Meanwhile, the school brawl goes viral citywide, with a flamboyant host hyping up this taboo live broadcast. The Lotus Clan isn't letting things get out of hand. Suited guards swarm the area, sealing exits and confiscating phones. It seems they intend to keep our boy's hunt hidden in the shadows. As the maze test concludes, the Lotus Clan leaders review the footage of our boy's performance. Sunwoo and Moharin realize his victory over Tyrell was no fluke, but a result of extraordinary instinct. Moharin reveals they aren't here for revenge, but to find a superior replacement for Tyrell. Seeing our boy's confusion, she playfully admits that losers like Tyrell were never really her style anyway. Inside the empty theater, Sunwoo finally shows his cards. On behalf of the Lotus Clan, he officially offers to sponsor our boy, aiming to turn him into the clan's newest elite asset. The clan's true goal is to have our boy debut as the next action idol. While Shane is completely overwhelmed by the gravity of the offer, Sunwoo waits calmly for a definitive answer. Unexpectedly, our boy responds with a calm smile. To him, a peaceful school life is worth more than any chaotic fame. He rejects the offer without hesitation, choosing his quiet daily life over the spotlight. Sunwoo is stunned by the rejection, his smile freezing in place. Just as the tension reaches a breaking point, Xena Han bursts into the room, fueled by a fierce determination to protect her goals. Xena boldly interjects, facing down the Lotus Clan and declaring herself as our boy's official representative. It looks like his dream of a quiet school life is about to get a lot more complicated. While our boy is still reeling from the situation, the Lotus Clan leader is already making moves. Smirking and plotting, he decides Youngwoo is ready to join the clan immediately. Xena leaves our guy with no way out. Reminding him of his earlier promise to follow her lead, she pushes him to commit, even as he breaks into a nervous sweat. Seeing Xena's desperate plea and hearing she has a secret motive, our boy is left speechless. It seems joining the Lotus Clan is now an inevitable fate for both of them. Meanwhile, the atmosphere in the hallway turns eerie as students begin to gossip. Curiosity and anxiety spread through the crowd as everyone wonders what happened to the transfer student. Suddenly, an emergency alert flashes across every screen in the city. The Lotus Clan is making a massive move, prepping a bombshell announcement that's about to shake the entire school. The reveal is finally here. Under the gaze of the entire city, the Lotus Clan officially announces that Tyrell's replacement as the new action idol is our boy, Youngwoo. The news hits the school like a hurricane, leaving everyone stunned. Our boy barely has time to process his new idol status before the spotlight and new dangers lock onto him. While other students are discovering online that Youngwoo has broken the rules yet again, causing a stir and confusion, Our boy and his companions walk on with unwavering determination. But the real chaos is about to begin. A helicopter, codenamed Sky Pig, makes a forced landing in the plaza, bringing with it a deafening soundtrack that throws the gathering into a state of panic. The aggressive Sky Pig helicopter swoops low over the square, its massive downdraft and shockwave causing the marching student procession to scatter and fall, leaving chaos in its wake. In the aftermath of the impact, terrified students scramble for safety, some even leaping from the aircraft's doors. The helicopter, now out of control and trailing plumes of smoke, teeters precariously through the sky over the city. Meanwhile, as chaos reigns outside, the Lotus Clan's top brass calmly sip tea in a lavishly decorated room, discussing the violent initiation ceremony that was orchestrated by Jean Zion. The silver-haired figure points out the risk. Throwing an unprepared idol into the brutal competition could lead to their swift downfall. However, another high-ranking official named Moon argues that opportunity and risk are inseparable. The scene shifts to a different ruin. Aiden, having barely survived his own trial, stands topless amidst the explosion's lingering dust. Two silver-haired women approach him calmly and inform him that he has also been selected to become an action idol. Witnessing Aiden being actively recruited by the Lotus Clan fills our boy with shock and rising anger. The nagging question emerges, was he never even their primary target to begin with? The scene shifts to Aiden, who looks absolutely livid. Two mysterious women lean in, whispering reminders of his recent humiliation and fueling the fire of his resentment. Aiden finally snaps. In his eyes, the world of martial arts is survival of the fittest. Having waited so long for his shot, he refuses to let anyone ruin his future again. Clenching his fists, he lets out a feral scream. He vows to tear down any obstacle in his way, swearing that both Tyrell and our boy Youngwoo will pay the price. Meanwhile, a new chapter unfolds. A helicopter touches down at the clan's entrance with grand flair, as elaborate preparations are finalized for the upcoming idol ceremony. In the training hall, Aiden demonstrates his refined techniques to his peers. He radiates arrogance, but the mere mention of our boy's name makes the tension in the room spike. Over in the broadcast studio, commentators are buzzing with excitement. A close-up of our guy looking cool and composed is broadcast to the masses, making him the man of the hour. Sunwoo, the high-ranking leader of the Lotus Clan, makes his appearance. While observing the hype, the leaders joke about how our boy's team completely embarrassed the elite guards. The focus shifts to Sane, who is emotionally admitting that he's noticed Gina and Youngwoo's activities too, but feels lost about his own reasons for being there. At that moment, Gina grabs his shoulders, eyes shining as she declares that Sane is exactly the person their team needs. Elsewhere, other students are in a heated discussion about the official video released by the Lotus Clan. One complains that it's too hard to monitor Youngwoo alone, as our boy always finds trouble. Another student questions this, but a bespectacled pupil calmly explains that it's because the clan only permits official videos and ceremonial speeches. Any other audio is forbidden. Hearing this, Youngwoo's mysterious, sunglasses-wearing mentor, Sunwoo, leans in with a meaningful smile to whisper to the boy, hinting that if the clans start voicing their own ideas openly, it might unsettle certain people. Sunwoo delves deeper into the brutal context, revealing that this city endured a long, seemingly endless war between clans, a conflict everyone wants to forget. The scene cuts to an internal meeting of the Lotus Clan. The higher-ups are discussing how to conclude the tradition for an action idols initiation. The key final step involves leaving a handprint. What follows is the moment that stuns everyone present. Following tradition, Youngwoo places his hand on a glowing, circular device. In an instant, a cataclysmic power erupts, exploding through the hall. Amidst a shower of debris and deafening roars, under the watchful eyes of countless viewers on screens and the clan's higher-ups, Youngwoo officially completes his clan initiation. The shocking initiation video instantly makes headlines. However, not everyone is celebratory. Aiden's allies angrily question the video's authenticity, shouting that Aiden should have been the one in that ceremony. Amidst all the controversy and heated emotions, Sunwoo, who has been observing everything, steps forward once more. With a smile that speaks of total control, he announces that Gina, Sane, and the other involved students will be assigned as employees of the clan under his management. He warns the agitated students to calm down and prepare properly. Finally, his expression turns cold as he sternly warns everyone to remember what was said today. Because next time someone forgets, the consequence will be that they will no longer be able to use their wrists. As the evaluation wraps up, Sunwoo reviews the footage behind the scenes, stumbling upon a shocking piece of intelligence that catches him completely off guard. It turns out Xena, who has been by our boy's side, is the younger sister of the legendary Han Shinwoo. This revelation sends shockwaves through the observers. Elsewhere, the girl at the center of the rumors walks through the city. Despite carrying her brother's heavy legacy, Xena's calm confidence hints at her own dormant genius. Back at her place, Xena shares a tender moment on the phone with her mom. Looking at a photo of her brother and missing grandfather, she finds the strength to keep moving forward. Xena prepares for the path ahead, believing in her family's destiny. Meanwhile, our boy reflects on his own past and the mysterious, heavy legacy he now carries. Youngwoo recalls being told his god's hand is a cursed blessing. To protect him, his mentor left him behind, leaving our boy to carry the burden of this power alone. As a new day dawns over the Lotus Clan headquarters, the stage is set. Various factions are moving, and a massive challenge awaits at the end of this long, corporate corridor. In a room resembling an office, a kind-looking, white-haired gentleman explains the Lotus Clan's practical martial arts test to three youths standing in the hallway. When the examiner mentions the promising new talent, our boy Youngwoo's name comes up. From the crowd, his former classmate Aiden reacts with a complicated expression. Recognizing the connection, the examiner remarks with a smile that the two must know each other. Walking straight through the crowd, Aiden approaches Youngwoo and extends his hand. He declares that he always knew their paths would cross again, offering a greeting that appears friendly on the surface. Youngwoo, however, responds to Aiden's enthusiasm by looking away with indifference, bluntly stating that Aiden's actions hold no value in his eyes, completely rejecting the overture. This leaves Aiden stunned and deeply embarrassed. After the tense moment cools, the examiner with sunglasses, Clan Executive Sunwoo, begins explaining the test rules in detail. The objective is simple. Inside a constantly moving racetrack maze, the goal is to capture a moving flag. However, he adds that enemies will also try to disrupt the participants, and they will be evaluated on how quickly they can capture the flag while fighting these opponents. Sunwoo even goes a step further, announcing that participants can also attack and compete against each other freely. Hearing that direct attacks between participants are allowed, Aiden's gaze sharpens again. He secretly establishes a new goal for himself, not to win the game, but to completely crush Youngwoo during this test and get him erased from the roster. From the crowd, Xena calls out to Youngwoo with concern, urging him to focus on the fight and the obstacles he might face, including Aiden. Xena explains an important detail. The test doesn't necessarily require grabbing the flag to end. This rule means Youngwoo could focus solely on eliminating his competitors, potentially ending the contest without ever touching the flag. With the rules laid out, Examiner Sunwoo presses a switch and declares the test begun. The participants turn and sprint toward their separate entrances, as a chaotic, high-stakes battle within a moving maze is about to unfold. The scene shifts. The test has begun. The white-haired Sunwoo gives final instructions through a communication device, telling the contestants to put on the earpieces on their left so support staff outside can see the situation and offer strategic advice. Youngwoo immediately puts on his earpiece, and on the other side, Xena takes her position. Sunwoo reiterates the goal is to capture the flag in the shortest possible time and wishes them good luck. As soon as he finishes, the participants race off into the complex racetrack maze like arrows from a bow. The maze test reaches its climax as our boy Youngwoo unleashes a roar, releasing pent-up energy that instantly shatters an obstacle in his path. The massive shockwave sends a brown-haired candidate flying through the air with a yell, crashing down onto the broken floor. Meanwhile, someone outside seems to be explaining the maze rules, stating that its layout will change every 3 minutes. Elsewhere in the maze, Xena realizes that just running isn't enough, while Youngwoo's condition seems abnormal, with a strange spiral light glowing in his right eye. Faced with the ever-changing maze, someone advises moving while talking and using a flag symbol they just saw to find the correct path. Meanwhile, in a private room among the clan's upper echelons, Xianwoo discusses the test's progress and the candidate's potential with another white-haired elder. However, the conversation focuses on a key requirement to become a combat idol, needing the guardian's consent. This presents a problem for Youngwoo, as Xianwoo reveals he initially wanted him to be a bodyguard. At a critical point in their talk, the elder suddenly shows a look of extreme shock as he realizes the true nature of the power Youngwoo harbors, the hand of the sacred god. Back in the maze, the fight continues. Aiden charges forward at high speed, while Youngwoo hears directions about the route as he runs. Immediately after, Aiden seems to suffer a fierce counterattack. His stunned expression is frozen for an instant before he is engulfed by a powerful shockwave, falling backward. After a series of swift actions, Aiden finally stops, belatedly processing what happened. He touches his chin, scrutinizing the remnants of the fight with a grave expression. The fierce battle also affects others nearby. Xena and her companion are momentarily stunned by the aftershock, their faces filled with shock. At the center of the storm, Youngwoo slowly comes to a halt. His gaze lowered with an elusive smile, he poses a question that cannot be avoided to his opponent. He doesn't give his opponent a chance to recover. Before the words fully land, the black, ringed whip in his hand whooshes through the air, aimed directly at the opponent's face. The strike is lightning fast. Aiden's pupils contract sharply in fear. Immediately after, a heavy blow with terrifying force lands, decisively ending the fight. The power of the punch is astonishing. Not only Aiden, but several candidates near him are also thrown to the ground by the overwhelming force, creating a scene of utter chaos. As the dust settles, a glint of insight flashes in Youngwoo's fierce eyes. He confirms his judgment Aiden's footwork isn't from any recognized martial arts. To be absolutely certain, he decides to switch up his fighting style. Facing a fierce charge, our boy doesn't flinch. Instead, a confident smirk plays on his lips. With a swift movement, he delivers a powerful kick that sends his opponent reeling from the impact. This forbidden power known as the God's Hand is a gift every martial artist dreams of. It grants our boy a unique ki flow, allowing energy to circulate far more efficiently than ordinary fighters. However, such power is a double-edged sword. If the body can't handle the pressure, his internal meridians could collapse, making him a walking time bomb in the eyes of his enemies. Back in the fight, our boy relentlessly presses the attack, his strikes leaving trails of destruction. His nonchalant expression suggests that this level of combat is mere child's play to him. Battered and driven back, Aiden is in total disbelief. He screams in frustration, accusing our boy of cheating to gain such an advantage, his composure completely shattered by the pressure. The spectators are stunned to see the once arrogant Aiden so thoroughly overwhelmed. Senior members, like Imoharan, look incredibly grim as the fight takes a turn no one expected. Imoharan notices that despite his raw power, our boy doesn't seem to know how to refine his ki control. As he stands in the spotlight, her gaze betrays a mix of curiosity and hostility. Facing Aiden's renewed provocation, our boy remains unfazed, his gaze unreadable. Aiden tries to find a weakness, only to realize his opponent is like a deep pool with no visible bottom. Deciding to end the talk, our boy delivers a punch with crushing force. This strike is faster and heavier than anything before, proving with absolute strength that the real battle has just begun. The battle reaches a boiling point as our boy unleashes a flurry of lightning-fast punches. Aiden, once so arrogant, is now completely overwhelmed, his face distorted as he struggles to even put up a defense. Refusing to give his opponent an inch, our boy lands another devastating blow. The sheer force sends Aiden flying back like a broken doll, turning the fight into a complete display of raw power and dominance. With a final, earth-shattering punch, our boy finishes the exchange. Looking down at the battered Aiden, he wears a cold, mocking smile, as if asking if that was really all the elite student had to offer. But this test is far from over. Standing at the end of the corridor, our boy reflects on the provocation. In that chaotic clash, both sides were pushing each other's limits, searching for any sign of weakness. Meanwhile, Xena is watching the fight with intense concern. Though our boy seems to have the upper hand, the brutal rules of this selection mean one slip-up could end everything. She needs a plan, and fast. The team analyzes our boy's fighting style, noting his extraordinary use of ki. It's powerful, but it might be hiding a fatal flaw. Xena catches on to this detail, her expression turning deadly serious. As the next phase begins, Xena shouts a warning. Stop fixating on Aiden and focus on the flag. She's finally realized the true goal behind this trial isn't just about winning a brawl. Shane and Xena finally crack the code. Now that our boy knows how to handle Aiden, the rest is simple. If he follows the plan, that arrogant rival won't stand a chance in their next encounter. The tension in the corridor is palpable as Aiden rushes forward, only to be called back by his teammates. It seems word about the flag has spread, and everyone is now in a frantic race for the final spot. Our boy isn't interested in playing hide-and-seek. With lightning speed, he delivers a massive blow that sends Aiden flying down the corridor, his body contorted from the sheer force of the impact. Meanwhile, the puppet masters watch the battle unfold from the sidelines. The clan leaders reveal that this test is no ordinary selection. They've hidden secret weapons throughout the maze to intercept these overconfident rookies. Suddenly, a true heavy hitter makes her entrance, Harin. As a renowned action idol, her mere presence emits a shockwave that blows away the surrounding competitors in a stunning display of power. Facing such overwhelming pressure, our boy's eyes sharpen. He has no intention of backing down, realizing that this woman is the real threat and he'll need everything he has to break through. Holding a symbolic white rose, Harin wears a playful but cold smirk, ready to teach these rookies a lesson. As their powers collide, the resulting shockwave sends nearby students into a state of pure panic. With a deafening roar, the already battered Aiden is caught in the crossfire once again, slammed hard against the lockers. Spectators are left speechless. This isn't a student-level fight anymore, it's a clash of monsters. After witnessing our boy's incredible resilience, Harin finally drops her arrogance and turns deadly serious. Meanwhile, Xena frantically warns him. His opponent is a top-tier active idol, and he can't afford a single mistake. Amidst the growing tension, our boy's reputation as a troublemaker transfer has already spread. While Xena watches in shock, the hidden battle is quietly beginning to unfold. A man named Li Jin blocks the path, his tone dripping with arrogance. But our boy isn't here for word games. Beneath his calm gaze, the sparks of a counterattack are already igniting. The explosion happens in a flash. Without warning, our boy delivers a massive punch that sends the arrogant Aiden flying. The sheer power of the strike leaves everyone stunned. As things spiral out of control, a self-proclaimed senior steps in. He threateningly warns our boy that unless he learns some respect, things are about to get very ugly. Harin coldly reveals the truth. This test is actually a lesson from seniors to juniors. In the ruthless world of action idols, strength is the only law that matters. The observing companions now look grim. They realize that in this hostile labyrinth, just trying to survive and get out in one piece is already a monumental task. Since reasoning failed, our boy drops the peaceful act. Facing Harin's provocation, he charges head-on, their high-intensity clash triggering a massive shockwave. The collision of power and skill reaches a boiling point, their movements blurring into pure speed. Will our boy break through, or be consumed by these cruel survival rules? With heavy footsteps, Harin makes her arrogant entrance. Looking at the struggling rookies, she confidently mocks them, finding it amusing that they think they can actually challenge her in speed. Facing the provocation, our boy's eyes sharpen with a playful smirk. Even though Aiden is gasping for air, and someone offers him a chance to flee, our guy clearly has no intention of backing down. Xena shouts in panic, urging our boy to get out of there immediately. Instead, he teases his opponent, asking Aiden if he's in shock, and even mockingly offers him a chance to run away. Despite the opponent's confidence, our boy gracefully declines the offer to retreat. In an instant, a massive shockwave erupts as he bursts forward like an arrow, fully entering his combat mode. Before Xena's scream even fades, our boy sets his sights on the flag. With a confident smirk, he launches a counterattack, declaring he won't let victory slip away when the goal is right there. Going all out, our boy blocks the incoming strike and grabs Aiden by the waist. With a surge of raw power, he executes a perfect suplex, hoisting his opponent high into the air without any resistance. He follows up with a heavy high kick to the neck, followed by a crushing blow to the torso. Our boy completely shatters the last of the resistance, showcasing his wild and overwhelming dominance. Our boy lands a brutal kick and a heavy punch, sending Aiden flying with his face distorted in shock. Overwhelmed by the raw power, Aiden realizes he's up against no ordinary beginner. Despite the chaos, our guy remains remarkably calm, his breathing steady. He coolly mentions he's long been familiar with fights like this, showing the unshakable focus of a veteran. The intensity only ramps up as the air fills with tension. With sharp glares and powerful shockwaves, it's clear the real showdown is just beginning, leaving no room for a breather. Things get chaotic as Harin is swept into the storm. Our boy clashes with her at high speeds, the explosive force sending debris flying everywhere as the battle hits a fever pitch. In a flash, our boy drops from the sky, pinning Harin down with a powerful stomp. Even the flower of the storm can't hide her agony as the momentum shifts entirely in his favor. Harin takes the hit and tauntingly asks why our guy isn't fighting back yet. Though he keeps his guard up, a wild, primal instinct is clearly awakening behind those fierce eyes. Harin flashes a confident, knowing smile, unaware that our boy's sharp, predatory gaze has already locked onto her. That cold stare signals that the tables are about to turn. Their figures blur in a series of violent clashes, each impact rippling through the air. Despite being pushed back, our boy's clenched fist and fierce expression show he has no intention of losing. Amidst a massive explosion of power, our boy and Aiden are both set flying. Even Mulholland is caught in the shockwave as the corridor crumbles under the sheer force of the impact. Through the debris, our boy's gaze turns fierce as he finds his opening. Mulholland tries to keep her cool, but a single bead of sweat betrays her growing unease at his presence. Aiden stands in the hallway, coming to a painful realization. Not only did our boy refuse to run, but he hadn't even considered Aiden a threat while calculating his next move. Though exhausted, Mulholland's pride as a senior won't let her back down. She vows to teach this arrogant junior a lesson he'll never forget, no matter what it takes. As clan higher-ups arrive, the tension shifts. Our boy remains surprisingly calm, declaring he's finished fighting here, a statement that only fuels Mulholland's growing rage. Believing this is the best path to victory, our boy turns and walks away. Mulholland is left fuming at his retreating back, insulted by his complete lack of concern for her status. Meanwhile, Aiden spirals into a manic frustration. To him, our boy's arrogance is unforgivable, and he vows to beat that calm expression off his face through sheer violence. Reality hits hard when Aiden tries to provoke him again. Our boy ends the discussion with a single, devastating punch, proving that some gaps in power can't be closed by willpower alone. Mulholland is deep in thought, realizing she completely underestimated these rookies. Things are spiraling out of control, and it's all because of our boy's unexpected strength. Meanwhile, Aiden is fuming over his injuries. The more he replays the fight in his head, the more he realizes there's something genuinely unsettling about our boy's power. Unbeknownst to them, every move in this labyrinth test is being broadcast live to the participants' phones. Our guy has officially become the center of everyone's attention. The situation turns critical as the system leaks our boy's exact coordinates. His allies warn him that enemies are closing in fast, and he needs to move before he's cornered. Before our boy can even catch his breath, Mulholland appears, blocking his path with a chilling smile. This time, she's not holding back. She's ready to finish what she started. Pushing through the pain, our guy struggles to stay upright. Even with his legendary resilience, the damage from the previous fights is starting to take its toll, making every movement a struggle. In a desperate burst of instinct, our boy unleashes a devastating punch straight at Aiden's face. The raw, wild power behind the strike is enough to shatter anything in its path. With a thunderous impact, our boy lands a massive punch right on Aiden's face. The force is so overwhelming that it sends the arrogant elite flying back, his face contorting from the sheer power of the blow. The control room falls into a stunned silence. No one expected the powerful Aiden to be taken down so abruptly, and the explosive impact on screen proves the sheer intensity of our boy's hidden strength. Xena and her friends hold their breath, trying to process the strike. Our guy condensed his ki into his hand in a split second, slicing through the defense like a blade, a terrifying technique that leaves everyone watching in awe. But there's no rest yet, as the senior idol Mulholland steps in. Even though our boy wants to finish the test and find the flag, she has no intention of letting him pass, blocking his way with cold, lethal elegance. Mocking our boy for his naivety, Mulholland dives from above with a relentless assault. Still catching his breath, our guy finds himself struggling under her pressure as the situation turns critical in an instant. Amidst the clash, memories of pushing past limits flash through our boy's mind. Gritting his teeth, he erupts with a fresh surge of power, letting out a roar as he prepares to shatter his obstacles with raw instinct. After the struggle, our boy collapses among the ruins, shirtless and gasping for air as his stamina hits its limit. But just as he falters, a mysterious figure looms behind him, hinting at a new turn in this chaotic test. Just a moment ago, Aiden stood arrogantly over our boy, thinking the fight was won. He didn't realize that as Youngwoo knelt there, the look in his eyes had completely changed. The explosion happened in an instant. Our boy lunged forward with a devastating punch so fast that Aiden couldn't even react before being sent flying by the sheer force. Next, even Mulholland couldn't escape the carnage. Youngwoo's assault was like a hurricane, sweeping through the interceptors and creating a shockwave that seemed to tear through the air. Faced with this monstrous power, Mulholland is left in shock while Aiden's face is completely distorted from the impact. Youngwoo's piercing gaze says it all. This fight is over. The scene is a total wreck, with chairs and tables pulverized by the shockwaves. Our boy, now shirtless, displays overwhelming dominance amidst the smoke and flying debris, his every strike echoing like thunder. Imo Harin clutches her chest in pain, while Youngwoo's face is partially shadowed, a cold smile playing on his lips. The watching students are paralyzed, drenched in cold sweat from the sheer terror of it all. As the last opponent falls, the chaotic hallway descends into an eerie silence. Xena and her friends sit trembling by the lockers, unable to process the inhuman power they just witnessed. However, the cost of such power hits immediately. Youngwoo clutches his chest in agony as a mysterious puncture appears on his palm. He realized his body reached its limit. The victory was his, but the real trouble is just beginning. With the smoke cleared, the hierarchy of action idols has quietly shifted. In this dog-eat-dog school, our boy's true identity and forbidden power have finally caught the attention of the higher-ups. Our boy was just looking to finish the test quickly when he landed a devastating punch, sending the arrogant Aiden flying with a distorted face. Before our guy could even catch his breath, Imo Harin appeared with a mocking smile, clearly looking to take advantage of the chaos. Wasting no time, Imo Harin charged forward like a gust of wind, vowing to make our boy suffer just as much as Aiden did. Pushed back by the relentless assault, our boy didn't back down. Instead, he used the momentum to reset his stance, his gaze growing even more fierce. Since she wasn't holding back, our guy decided to go all out. The ground shattered beneath him as he lunged forward like a silver lightning bolt. As the battle raged on, Xena watched in shock. She was amazed that the opponent managed to maintain their footing under such an intense assault. Xena realized the danger Imo Harin was using a technique called Wind Spike, designed to weaken opponents just like a bullfighter's lance. Caught in the center of the attack, our guy felt like a cornered beast. The feeling of being toyed with was infuriating as the situation turned critical. The onlookers watched the high-level clash with stunned expressions. The stakes have reached a fever pitch, and it's still anyone's game. As the test reaches its climax, Sunwoo finally steps out from the shadows. Judging by his stern expression, he was clearly expecting a lot more from this year's recruits than what he's seeing so far. The tension on the field is stifling. While his opponent tries to talk him down, our boy isn't interested in words. In a flash of raw speed, he lunges forward, delivering a punch so powerful it shatters Aiden's defense. It's become a brutal slugfest. Aiden strikes back with desperate fury, but our boy isn't backing down. Even as he takes a heavy hit, he contorts his body midair, absorbing the shock with sheer instinctive grit. Sensing an opening, our boy unleashes a relentless barrage. His fists find their marks with surgical precision, each blow landing like a hammer. Aiden's arrogant facade finally crumbles, as he struggles to stay conscious under the onslaught. A final, devastating downward strike seals the deal. Aiden is sent flying like a broken doll, the sheer impact creating a shockwave that seems to tear through the air itself. It's no longer a contest, it's a total shutdown. As the dust settles, our boy is exhausted but carries a confident smirk that says it all. Aiden collapses to his knees in utter disbelief, unable to comprehend how his peak strength was so easily dismantled. While the crowd cheers, the higher-ups notice something unsettling. Sunwoo realizes that our boy's fighting style feels strangely familiar. That blend of wild instinct and lethal precision, where exactly did he learn those moves? Sunwoo's expression darkens as he voices a chilling suspicion. Why is this kid using the secret techniques of their rival JK clan? A massive mystery is unfolding around our boy, and the true nature of this test is only beginning to surface. Sunwoo was finalizing his strategy when an urgent report came in from the 3rd sector. He hurried to the control room, his eyes fixed on the monitors as the tension in the air began to thicken. Meanwhile, Xena realized something was off. This was no longer just a simple welcome ceremony. Someone was using techniques from an entirely different clan, shifting the nature of the test into something far more dangerous. Amidst the growing chaos, a mysterious man adjusted his earpiece, his gaze turning cold. He decided it was time to stop watching from the shadows and deal with our boy personally, once and for all. With all the major players now in position, the school test transformed into a high-stakes showdown. At the very center of this brewing storm were our boy and his rival, Aiden. The battle erupted in an instant. With a cold smirk, our boy lunged forward, catching Aiden completely off guard. He landed a devastating blow that sent Aiden reeling, the sheer force of the impact leaving him breathless. Standing over his fallen opponent, our boy didn't hold back, taunting Aiden that without using real martial arts techniques, he wasn't even worth fighting. His overwhelming presence seemed to freeze the very air around them. Aiden gritted his teeth, his face a mask of fury and refusal to lose. But against such absolute speed, his struggle seemed futile. With a cold gaze, our boy gathered his strength once more, ready to end this farce. A massive shockwave ripped through the corridor, leaving the onlookers completely stunned by the sheer intensity of the fight. Amidst the debris and flashing lights, the final outcome hung on this one decisive collision. The battle reaches a boiling point as our boy lands a devastating punch, sending shockwaves through Aiden. Despite a desperate attempt to counter, Aiden is completely overwhelmed by the sheer power and sent flying backward. Facing a faltering opponent, our boy's gaze remains cold. Even with the risk of permanent damage to his martial arts career, he doesn't waver. He has only one goal: to settle the score right here and now, regardless of the cost. Exhausted and battered, Aiden can only gasp for air in the shadows while our boy delivers a final ultimatum. With a mocking smile, he forces a choice: either become the stepping stone for the other's rise, or face total elimination. Behind the scenes, manager Gene Zion watches the broadcast closely, ordering all eyes on our boy. Though he maintains a sharp smile, the dark blood splatters on the ground reveal the immense physical pain he's currently enduring. To stay conscious, our boy resorts to biting his own fist to suppress the agony, a display of grit that chills even Aiden. Meanwhile, Xena learns the clan's cruel plan to disqualify him from the tournament under the pretext of his injuries. Gene Zion calmly explains his logic of natural selection, arguing that any player unfit to fight should be removed. This blatant manipulation infuriates Xena, who refuses to let their hard-earned progress be erased by a single executive order. As Xena prepares to protest, the situation in the maze shifts again, with Aiden launching a sudden attack on Imoharin. Watching the chaos unfold on screen, the students cry out in shock as the test spirals completely out of control. Seeing Xena in danger, our boy completely snaps, desperately shouting for his friends. The scene is pure chaos as everyone present is paralyzed by the sudden, overwhelming pressure he's radiating. Unwilling to waste time with Aiden, our boy delivers a fury-fueled punch that lands flush. Right now, he couldn't care less about the test. His only priority is getting to Xena. Aiden collapses in agony after the heavy blow, but our boy isn't backing down. His fierce gaze sends a clear message: anyone standing in his way will pay a devastating price. The other trainees are drenched in cold sweat, too terrified to even breathe. They never expected this selection test to spiral into such an uncontrollable and violent confrontation. Just as things reach a breaking point, the high-ranking Gene Zion and Sunwoo finally appear. They look down at the battered and exhausted trainees with cold, calculating eyes. Our boy finally relaxes slightly upon learning Xena isn't in critical danger. Sunwoo claims he kept everything under control to prevent deaths, though that hardly calms the lingering resentment. Hiding his eyes behind sunglasses, Sunwoo whispers the next phase of the plan to Zion. It's clear this accident was scripted, and our boy's performance exceeded his expectations. Refusing to accept defeat, Aiden stands his ground one last time to save face. Our boy simply utters a cold move before launching another strike that's almost too fast to follow. The sheer force blasts Aiden backward, smashing through the nearby equipment. Even as his body hits its limit, Aiden lets out a defiant roar, desperate to seize one last chance. Amidst the wreckage, Aiden uses his last ounce of strength to grab the victory flag. Imoharin approaches him gracefully, announcing that he is the first to pass this brutal test. The Lotus clan has long seen the JK clan as their rival. To avoid humiliation, the higher-ups secretly ordered Lai Jin to use forbidden techniques, effectively throwing our boy into a death trap. Sunwoo looks tense, but the higher-ups aren't backing down. To them, the safety of the idols is far less important than the clan's reputation and the final performance. Tensions reach a breaking point as a frantic report comes through the radio. Our boy Youngwoo is heavily injured and might be forced to withdraw from the tournament. Suddenly, something goes wrong. It's not just our boy, even his rival Aiden and the others are clutching their heads in agony as a terrifying shockwave sweeps through the area. The monitors in the control room shatter instantly. Through the sparks and static, a glimpse of our boy's explosive strike appears, a power so immense it turns the entire test site upside down. Management loses their cool completely. Sunwoo screams into the radio for security to check the room. Amidst the smoke, one question is on everyone's mind: what has happened to our boy? When the dust finally settles, the scene is horrifying. The reinforced walls are crumbled, and the once mighty Lai Jin lies defeated in the wreckage. The devastation is beyond anything they expected. Screens in the control room shatter as chaos erupts. Amid the destruction, the observers are losing their minds, while Xena and the others can only stare in absolute disbelief at the sheer scale of the devastation. Our boy stands shirtless among the rubble, exhausted but still looking fierce. Even as his strength fades, his first thought is for his friends, whispering Xena's name to make sure they're okay. That final blow was devastating, completely crushing Aiden's defenses and knocking him out cold. As Aiden collapses, Xena rushes to our boy's side, desperately calling out his name to keep him from slipping away. The high-ups are reeling from the shock. Watching the data, Jean Shine breaks into a cold sweat as he screams the name the divine hand of God. This legendary, forbidden power has finally resurfaced. Now that they've confirmed our boy's god-tier potential, the fear in the room turns into greedy excitement. They look down at the exhausted teenager as if he's a prized jewel, already planning his next mission. Overlooking the city skyline, a sinister plan is set in motion. They're preparing a debut for our boy that will shake the world, but in their eyes, this stage is just an entrance into an even deadlier game.